for May 23rd, 2017. Glad everybody's here. Before we get into our agenda, I'd like to ask Mr. Sullivan to come down and lead us in the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the pledge.
Would you bow with me, please? Gracious Heavenly Father, we're blessed to be in your presence. Father, we're blessed to be here at this occasion tonight. And Father, we thank you so much for the freedom of assembly that we enjoy in this great country. Father, I'd ask your discernment and your wisdom be upon this council tonight. They have some difficult decisions to make. And Lord, I'd ask that they'd be for whatever's best for this community as a whole. Father, I thank you so much for this great city, state, and nation. Thank you for our freedoms and those who are willing to sacrifice and defend them all over the world. Give them safety and peace as well, Lord. Thank you so much for the grace that you've shown us, the mercy through your Son's blood and that death on the cross. We give you thanks. It's in his name I pray. Amen.
And call to the podium Cadets Robinson and Cadet McBride Rogers. These cadets are from the ROTC program at Carl Albert High School. We started this program at the beginning of the school year to ask ROTC cadets to participate in the government process and lead us in the pledge. Thank you for being here, and we do continue this program next school year. Go ahead.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys, and thanks for being here again. May be seated.
Pictures, Mayor? Yes,
Oh.
Turn around and face me, please. The mayor will stand.
At least there's no proclamations tonight.
Excuse me, technical error. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Okay, going around the horseshoe, is there any community-related announcements?
Hey, I've got one. It's actually past an announcement. But this weekend, being out at Tinker Air Force Base, watching the Thunderbirds fly and everything, it made me really stop and think, I'm glad they're on our team. I mean, wonderful, wonderful event at Tinker. I mean, I think, what was it? At one point, they had to actually quit letting any more cars in. It's maybe one of the biggest crowds they've ever had out there. Just a great, great weekend. If you ever wanted to feel proud to be an American, if you were out there this weekend, it was incredible, incredible.
Thank you, Rick, for that.
Mayor, I'll go just really quickly. I just wanted to give a shout out to the kids from Jarman Middle School. The National Junior Honor Society did a water and Gatorade drive for our fire department in Midwest City. And shout out to our Midwest City Fire Department, who were gracious enough to bring a fire truck over and let the kids take a picture with it, acknowledging the drive that they had done and the donation that they had made. So double thanks.
Thank you. I do want to remind everybody, we have 32 active neighborhood associations in the city of Midwest City. And every year in June, we come together as a city, and Mike Stroh's group down the Neighborhood Initiative to just show appreciation to our neighborhood associations and all they do in our neighborhoods. As a matter of fact, some of you all are a very active member in one of our biggest neighborhood associations. association celebration is going to be held this year, June 8th, at the Rotary Pavilion at Joe B. Barnes Park from 5:30 till 7:30 in the evening. And but basically, we get together and we feed you and give you some door prizes and just thank you for doing everything you do. So you might want to stop by that event if you get a chance. Any more? Okay, we'll go ahead with our consent agenda of our meeting tonight. And these items are placed on the consent agenda so that members of the City Council, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any one item or proposed item does not meet with the approval of all council members or members of the audience wish to discuss an item, that item will be removed and heard in regular order.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. First item on the discussion.
Is PC 1896, public hearing with discussion consideration of approval of an ordinance to redistrict from R6 single-family detached residential and A1 agricultural to planned unit development PUD governed by the R6 single-family district for the property described as tract of land lying in the east half of Section 8, Township 11 North, Range 1 west of the Indian Meridian, City of Midwest City, Oklahoma County. This item was continued from a previous meeting. It is involving the rezoning to a PUD of some property on Anderson Road. Billy?
Yes, sir. As you can see in your memo, staff called the applicant to see if the differences could be worked out in the application, and we met with the applicant's attorneys, and at that point I think they decided to go ahead and request this item be pulled from the agenda. Staff would go ahead and recommend that the application be denied as written, as it does not meet the requirements of the comprehensive plan and zoning requirements.
With that explanation, the chair would entertain a motion. So
Move
Yeah,
to deny.
Before you do that, I've got a history that dates back to the early 90s on this property, so I'm going to recuse myself on any voting on this and the next one.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Is there any public discussion on this matter? Anyone would like to come forward and to the podium and discuss it? If not, we'll move forward. You state your name and address for me, sir.
Sam Yerby, 1925 Jerry Street. I've been a Midwest Cityite since 3rd grade. My dad retired from the military, got stationed at Tinker here. I went to Soldier Creek. I graduated from Carl Albert High School. Whenever I got my first real paying job at 18, it was on the other side of Oklahoma City. It was there I had ample opportunity to move to the west side of the city, but I chose to stay on the east side because I believe that east is in. And I have stayed. I've been in my house. I built my house in Oakwood East in 1986. I've been in the house since 1986. I've looking at the possibility of retirement here in a few years. I'm getting close to that, and I would like to stay in my house for a few years and enjoy my grandkids and so forth. And so also with the all the updates that the city is doing to Midwest City on 29th Street and even widening the roads and even some of the stuff that's coming down the pike for 15th Street. I would just like to see this place, these homes not be allowed to be put here to bring our property values down, and I'm not, this is my personal opinion, I'm not speaking for the city, but I think the city's done a great job of enhancing our city and trying to get people here. And I would like to see the city continue to improve, but I don't think this is an improvement for the city, and I would just like the city to consider that and stay here because I do believe that East is in. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir, for your comments.
Mr. Mayor, I'd be curious, is there anybody here that's in support of this? I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
We heard it pretty loud last time.
Yes,
This
sir, we
is-
did.
Yeah, and my motion was to deny.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I want to sustain from this, discussion.
Gonna let the record show. Any abstentions? By my count, the motion carries to deny. Our next item on the discussion,
This would be PC 1897, public hearing with discussion consideration of approval of a preliminary plat of Anderson Crossing for the property described as a tract of land lying in the east half of Section 8, Township 11 North, Range 1 West of the Indian Meridian, City of Midwest City, Oklahoma, Oklahoma County, Oklahoma.
Move to deny.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Is there anyone in the audience who cared to discuss this item? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm going to sustain from this.
Any abstentions? Motion carries. This, it's dead in the water, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Next item on the discussion.
This is PC 1904, public hearing with discussion consideration of an ordinance to redistrict from R6 single-family residential to C1 restricted commercial for the property located at 2818 Park Lawn Drive.
Public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience here on behalf of this application? Could you come up and give your name and address, sir?
It's Carl Mickish. I'm with Dual Star Managers, 14024 Quail Point Drive, Oklahoma City.
Have you had an opportunity to review the staff report, sir?
Yes.
Any concerns or questions about it?
No.
Okay. All right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item? Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, sir, for being here. We appreciate it. Next item on discussion.
Is going to be PC 1905, public hearing with discussion consideration of an ordinance to redistrict from R6 single-family detached residential to SPUD, simplified planning and development, and a resolution to amend a portion of the comprehensive plan from LDR, low-density residential, to OR, office retail, for the property described as Lot 1 and the east half of Lot 2, Block 4 of the Canale East Reno addition, located at 9708 East Reno. This is a public hearing involving a rezoning of a piece of property on Reno and St. Paul. Is there anyone in the audience here wishing to speak on behalf?
My name is Stacy Dean, and I'm the applicant. I live at 1439 Emmett Drive, and we've reviewed the staff, and I believe that we're in compliance with all the city requests.
Okay. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor or opposition to the rezoning?
Make a
Chair,
motion.
entertain a motion.
Make a motion to pass.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Next item.
This is a discussion consideration of declaring a resolution of necessity to acquire residential property located at 102 Woodman Drive in connection with the North Oaks revitalization.
Move to approve.
Second.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address this item? Any further discussion on the horseshoe? I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Next item.
This is discussion consideration of passing and approving an ordinance amending the Midwest City Municipal Code, Chapter 18, Garbage and Refuse, by amending Article 2, municipal collection and disposal services, Section 18-25, container required, duty to use, Section 18-26C, sanitation containers at commercial establishments, Section 18-27A, residential service fees, Section 18-28, business and commercial service fees, and providing for repealer and severability. The proposed ordinance establishes new sanitation fees for residential, commercial apartments, and mobile home park accounts due to an increased cost of tipping fees and recycling fees, which reflect the consumer price index and was passed on to the city as allowed in the contract by Republic Services. This increase is based on a 2.5% CPI increase.
Is there any discussion on this item? Anyone in the audience care to discuss this item? Hearing none, the chair to entertain a motion.
Motion to pass. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next item.
This is discussion consideration of an ordinance amending Section 25-40 of the Municipal Code, increasing the technology fee to $45 from $40 and providing for effective date and severability and repealer. This is one of the fees paid by a defendant in municipal court is the technology fee. The mayor and council first enacted this in 1999 and has been amended since twice since that period of time. The purpose of the fee is to establish a technology fund for the express and sole purpose of funding technological maintenance and improvements for the city. Staff is recommending the $5 increase.
Move to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next item.
This is discussion consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 24 Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the City of Midwest City Code, Article 2, Administration and Enforcement, Division 2, Vehicle Impoundment, Section 24-47B, Duration, Release, Impoundment Fee, providing for repealer and severability and establishing an effective date. The current ordinance 24-47 was amended in 06 to recoup the costs associated with impound process of a vehicle under MCO 24-44, which continues to increase dramatically and plague law enforcement agencies nationwide. The proposed ordinance will broaden the use of the proceeds from the impoundment fee to make it useful for any and all lawful related expenses.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item? Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next item. We move into, we're into the new business public discussion of our agenda. Does anybody in the audience have anything to bring forth to the council? Hearing none, we,
I think Mr. Tony does.
oh, okay. How are you, Mr. Tony?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Bob Tony, 116 West Ridgewood Drive. I'm here tonight to represent my neighborhood association. I've had a couple of people in our last couple of meetings who had some requests that I wanted to bring to the council. I understand that you've got a lot of things on your plate right now, and this is going to fall way down on the priority list. But I told them I would speak on their behalf, so that's what I'm here to do. I had a couple elderly people in our neighborhood association who walked through the neighborhood, and they were wondering if we could get more lights, street lights in the neighborhood, specifically on Mockingbird and Bella Vista. And they mentioned that, you know, they're just a little concerned when they walk and it's dark and on those particular streets. And so I have driven through the neighborhood, and it's pretty consistent that there's a light on every intersection. But those runs are kind of long there, and so they just wanted to see if that was a possibility.
we'll take a look at it against the policies and see if that, if we can accommodate that.
Okay, and I did tell them that, you know, there are financial issues and lots of things that the city's doing right now, but like I said, I told them I would address it, so I wanted to keep my word on that. Also, I had heard that on the railroad crossings, some of those, especially like the one here in our depot, when you go across it, especially going northbound, going northbound, you just about yanks the steering wheel out of your hand. So does the city have any ability at all to force the railroad companies to fix those, or does it take a different approach?
Patrick, you want to address that?
Yeah, the ultimate responsibility for maintenance on those crossings is the railroads. They're governed by the Corporation Commission at the state capitol. We do send in requests repeatedly to have them maintain their crossings in the city, but unfortunately we don't have much of an enforcement that we can, you know, levy against them to get them to come do work. This is an ongoing issue, and the city is exploring the opportunity to partner with them and maybe try to take some of the maintenance burden away from the rail companies and do some work ourselves as city staff. That's something we're exploring, and hopefully sooner rather than later we'll have something that we can bring to the council and mayor for their review.
And the line on Air Depot is actually owned by ODOT, correct?
Yes, sir. It's a complicated situation. The rail companies lease these lines from ODOT, but ODOT does own some of these railroad corridors that run through the state, and that is one of them. The DOT does actually own that.
So let me just ask this question. I don't know what motivates them to act, but through the neighborhood associations, if I was to get a form to pass around and have all of the neighborhood association presidents take it to their meetings and get signatures, is that a waste of time, or does that help to move them?
No, sir. That's right. It's an effective way to notify ODOT and the rail and the companies that are responsible for those crossings that they need attention, and it is effective to a point. Yes.
Okay. Well, my intent would be to pursue that as with my neighborhood association and then get in contact with the others. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Can I follow up on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, if you're gonna want to take charge on doing that, you want to share that, send it to me via email, and I'll be happy to send it to neighborhood associations in Ward 1 also, because you know, like the one that's on Air Depot, we all are traveling over that, and it's problematic. I agree. Absolutely, and I'll be happy to work with you on that too. So, I have one more. Sorry, while we're on new business, I've addressed this to you, Mr. Mayor, informally, but I just want to address it to some of the members here in the audience from Ward 1. We've had some issues in our neighborhood raised about soft surface parking. We've also had some issues raised in our neighborhood about the issue with parking and blocking the carts, the trash or the recycling carts, and so it's an issue that I've brought up informally with you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just bringing it up for the sake of the council. I would like to see us move towards doing an ordinance or a revision to ordinance dealing with those issues to further clarify and to address the concerns so that we have some enforcement mechanisms when that's becoming a problem. We've had some complaints about citizens not being able to get their trash picked up, and similar to the ordinance we just revised, I know more specifically the charge was heftier for business if sanitation has to go back out to pick up, but these residents are not getting service because somebody's parking, blocking the access, and sanitation goes on by, and if they have to call sanitation back out, then sanitation wants to charge them, which we understand, and however, it's not those citizens' fault that one of their neighbors parked and blocked their access. So I'd like to address that and get it on our list of things to do at some point. So.
Any further discussion items bring before the council? Hearing none, we'll close the new business public discussion and entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Move to enter into
Yes. Discussion consideration of one entering into executive session as allowed under 25 OS Section 307B2 to discuss negotiations concerning employees and representatives of employee groups, and 2, in open session authorizing the city manager to take action as appropriate based on the discussion in executive session.
The chair has a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor